Welcome back to the We Was Watching podcast. I'm your host, Brandon.
I'm your other host, Chanel, and I might be freezing up.
You're not freezing up. You look
Okay.
great. And we are back
Great.
to talk about episode 4 of season 4 of Invincible. But before we get into that, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a review. If it's 5 stars, we'll read it on the show. And we have a 5-star review. Chanel, after she gets done drinking her tequila, she'll read it.
Yes, what a great way to open the show is to accuse me of drinking on a Sunday night, which is definitely one way to prepare for work. That is valid. Okay, guys, as you know, we like to celebrate when you we like to celebrate when you guys celebrate us. Brandon, do you want to play the sound?
Yeah. If I can find it. Hold on. I can't find my sound.
Wait. This shit bump like motherfuckers, just so y'all know. Okay, we got 5 stars. Brandon, I think we're being we're review hostages right now. Do you know that? So we have 2 reviews. One I will read, one I'll mention. So we right now have a
that bump like a motherfucker, man.
There we go.
Thank you so much. 5 stars from Davis Aaron says, I be listening. Thank you, because we be watching, or we was watching. You get what I'm saying. I love this podcast, but it's time to watch. What, Brandon?
I don't know. I didn't read the review.
It's time to watch Heated Rivalry. And another person gave us a less than 5-star review and said, watch Paradise, which I get, because if you saw that this was called a Paradise podcast and we hadn't done our recap yet, that might throw you off. Apologies, y'all. We got caught up after when the first 3 episodes come out. It kind of can screw us up if there's another show, because then we have to do like a mega recap and another weekly recap, which is what happened. And then it got to a point where we were like, oh, we'll do mid-season. Then it got to a point where it was like, let's just do it all. So good news is you will get a huge season-wide Paradise recap from us next week, and that'll officially make us a Paradise podcast again. Our old Paradise stuff is somewhere in the back catalog, but for now, we are talking about Invincible, and Brandon,
the finale comes out in 45 minutes from when we record.
Yeah, so we'll definitely we're beyond that. But Brandon, have you started Heated Rivalry?
Of course not. I told you I was not starting Heated Rivalry until we finish Paradise. I told you that.
Okay, you keep edging us. So next week you will have started, is what you're telling me.
Yes, once we do the review.
Next week you have to watch it. You can't just start it. We have to watch it all.
Once we do the review for Paradise, I told you I'll start watching Heated Rivalry.
No, don't say once we do the review.
What do you mean? You already agreed to that.
What if I can't record tomorrow? Because what if I can't record tomorrow? So I need you to start Heated Rivalry, and then we can do them both next weekend, potentially.
I will start it after we do the Paradise
No,
review.
You don't have to, though, because I do the season-wide recap. So I'll handle the notes. You just show up and you watch Heated Rivalry. Yeah, I'm serious. Because I don't think we have the time to wait.
That's not my agreement. We've already agreed on this last episode. I got it on tape. You're on mute.
No, but also, jokes aside, I think you got to watch it, because I think next weekend we got to double up. That's me getting ahead of the scheduling.
Nope.
So,
I'm out here reviewing shows to keep the podcast going so people don't forget that we're around. And you rushing me to watch something when I told you, I promise you,
we are not a For All Mankind podcast. We're not a For All Mankind podcast. We're not.
We are.
That's not what we do. That's not, nobody was, you know what people are asking for there? You hear them asking for a specific show and you're ignoring it to watch what you want to watch.
I want to keep my screeners. I don't know about you, but I want to keep them.
I don't think people care about the screeners as much as they care about Heated Rivalry. That's what
I don't care what the people think. If we don't review them, we don't keep them. And then when it comes around for the shows they do care about, like Silo and Cerberus, we won't have them then.
But we've done them. But all jokes aside, we have done them. We've done some from each of the screeners, so it's okay. We don't have to forego what our reader or our listeners are asking for to
a listener.
Screeners. So just watch Heated Rivalry.
A listener.
And then we're gonna go from there. No, Brandon, we have multiple comments asking about Heated Rivalry. I can go back and show you.
They'll get Heated Rivalry after we do Paradise.
Okay. I hear you, but I need you to watch concurrently so that we can be ready to record. Because if you're waiting on me, you're gonna be messed up. So let's just be ready. Let's both be ready.
Mm-mm. You're not getting me. You're not getting me off my game. You're not getting me off my game. Code Knox knows. Says man makes a point. You see that? You see that?
No. Here's what you're not understanding. So the show comes out tonight. What if this week gets busy and we cannot record Paradise until later? But I know for a fact I can record Heated Rivalry next weekend because I'm free on the weekends for sure. And weekdays.
How could you record Heated Rivalry but can't record Paradise?
What I'm telling you, you're not listening. So I don't know about my weekdays. So I know I've watched Heated Rivalry. I can do Heated Rivalry anytime. I have to watch one more episode of Paradise and I can do Paradise at any time. So my point is that over the weekend, maybe I can set aside Saturday to do both. But if you wait to watch Heated Rivalry until we done Paradise, then that'll mean we can't do Heated Rivalry next weekend. Which means I don't know when that's how I get behind. So I'm telling you, if you watch it now, we can be ready to record both Paradise first, and then we can record Heated Rivalry. But you have to watch it. You can't be waiting for Paradise. What if we don't do Paradise for Saturday?
That's a lot of asking. I got 2 movies to see this week.
You don't give a fuck about movies. You wait 3 months to watch movies.
Super Mario comes out Thursday.
The
Zazie Beetz movie come out.
This is how you guys see the beginning of the end here. Because I asked you to watch Weapons for months. You ain't go watch it. They say the Zazie Beetz They Will Kill You looks scary, and you're about to go watch it opening weekend.
No, they say it's not scary.
For months. I've been telling you about Heated Rivalry for months. So now I do feel the type of way that you're ignoring that and jumping into other stuff. You can watch the movies later, like you watch the movies I tell you to watch later. This weekend is our time to catch up. I'm telling you that explicitly on y'all heard it here first. If you don't get 2 episodes out of us this weekend, it's Brandon's fault. Thank you. Let's start Invincible.
Oh, I don't have to.
Once upon a time in the projects, yo.
We are talking about Invincible episode 4. This episode was called That's what it's called.
Good one. I liked it. A very pensive sound that the 2 leads of the episode made throughout. Well, the one and then Mark did it too. So very much enjoyed it.
So now, what did you think about episode 4, the lowest rated episode of the series?
Was it?
Mm-hmm. The lowest rated episode they've ever done.
Do you think this is like a bottle episode?
Yes. This episode was not, this whole storyline was not in the comic books. So a lot of fans of the comics probably didn't care. And actually you probably do know this because you saw the end of the episode, but it basically delayed the beginning of the Viltrumite War, which is a huge plot point in the comic books that everyone was looking forward to. And they basically threw in a storyline that didn't exist in the comics in between basically push the Viltrumite War 1 episode out. And so people were very upset about that. Mm-hmm. They thought it was pointless getting to the big plot point of the series.
But what if, hear me out, guys, they got stuff to be concerned about in terms of like making the whole season fit?
Well, no. If they had concerns about making the season fit, then they wouldn't have added something that didn't exist in the story. So this, like everything you saw this episode, is not in the story. The whole thing, the whole episode, except at the end when Nolan shows up, none of it's in the story. So they added it for this story. Now they may add a new storyline to the show at some point down the road that this calls back to, maybe, but it was not in the show.
No, I hear what you're saying. What I'm saying is, God forbid they have to make 8 episodes make sense, or however. What do they do? 6 or 8?
8.
Yeah, so I'm like, God forbid they needed something to reposition them so that the last 4 episodes are for the Viltrumite War. And
so you're saying like, so that they fit it in? I see
Yeah,
what
I
you're
feel like
saying.
people are complaining,
Okay.
but they would probably be like some weird dead space at the end of the last episode, if not, because the Viltrumite
I see
War, I'm
what you're
sure it's
saying.
huge, but like it's going to just be the second half of the season. And I wouldn't be surprised if, are we sure that this next episode comes out next week? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a mid-season break.
That's a good question. Let's take a look before we get into the recap. Invincible.
Yeah, I think they were just updating it. I
I
mean,
don't
it
think they
just
were
seemed like
doing season breaks this year, but let's see. You might be right. April 1st. So no, it comes out. Yeah, that's Wednesday. So it comes out Wednesday.
Oh, period. Okay. We're excited. We're feeling good. I think, again, I know that when there's source material, people have a lot of standards, which obviously I'm not like mad about. I understand, but I don't think it's that serious. I think y'all can relax. And there's also a story building here that makes sense, and they tie it together very well. It actually, in my mind, so they set us up for the they set us up for the darkling people, whatever. They set us up for that storyline to come back on Earth later, but they also bookended it with Mark's like introspection, and then so the visitors at the end made that even more meaningful. So I think it's fine, but okay, we can get into like what the actual episode is.
Okay. No, I mean I didn't hate it like most people hate it. I was just letting you know that people hated it.
No, I agree. I hear you. I'm just saying, like, I'm disagreeing with them. I'm saying they might be taking it too deep, taking it too far.
Episode 4 begins where at the costume shop, and Mark is still guilty, and feeling sad about everything that's happened, and he had to kill that astronaut dude who was possessed by the parasite, and he keeps feeling like he has to resort to violence to stop people, and he's dealing with it, and he's just basically explaining all this stuff to Art, and Art's like, and he's like, I think I'm becoming my daddy. And Art was like, your daddy never once came in here questioning anything that he did. Like, not a single time did he think about
type of conscience,
something that he did. So that you just coming in here talking about that means you're not him. And he said, by the way, I've been working on, an improvement to your old costume because, that costume was fire. And I want to make that shit better. So, when you're ready, I got this shit right here for you. And while he was about to take that, before he took the new outfit, he gets the call from Eve, and he was like, "We got a new, we got a request from Invincible Inc." And so,
and just to be clear, I think that was the old one refurbished. When we say new outfit, so like he had the yellow,
yes.
he went back to the yellow and yellow, blue, black that we know him from the first 2 seasons, and so that was and now I'm like, again, I haven't processed it yet. I'm sure there's some symbolism there about him kind of getting back to his embracing his old self. Like I think there's something to be said about like all black, all blue Invincible being like darker in a way, even though he is like post his dad and his dad's not around. It's like his dad's influence is there even more so than the yellow and blue one. Which, by the way, shout out to Michigan. But like, yeah, what he's doing is going kind of back in that old outfit, and we're seeing him have like a pensive moment. So I can understand why that might be like annoying for people who want all the action to keep building up. But I do think storytelling wise, it kind of like is just them like doing a 3-point turn for the rest of the season.
Well, that wasn't that.
You hear that train?
No.
Okay.
That part of the story was in the books. It was everything in hell that wasn't in the books. So he does go back to the uniform, to the original uniform in the books, and it's Robert Kirkman was costume. Robert Kirkman was influenced by Spider-Man. No, by Spider-Man, because the Spider-Man storyline in the books back in the 80s was, when the symbiote came to Earth, it got on his, before it became Venom, it got on his costume, and he got black, and he had this dark and gritty thing. And so that was what he was doing with this. He was basically saying he was going through his dark, like, man, I'm going to kill someone phase, and then he's going to come out on the bright side. So that's what it was inspired. And by the way, there was an episode.
And so
there was an issue of Invincible where Spider-Man actually crossed over in the Invincible universe. It was kind of, was it Spider-Man Invincible universe or Invincible and Spider-Man? Anyway, they basically crossed over, and everybody was hoping he would get that on a TV show. And Marvel was like, nope.
Yeah,
That's not
I don't think they should live in the same space because Spider-Man is a little bit too friendly for me, and Mark is going through some Aunt May don't even go on no dates in Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? And we're getting closer to seeing Debbie take back shots. So I just feel like it's just two different shows, and I don't really need to see them mix. But question for you: do you think that the symbiote angle is what Brand New Day is going for?
No.
You don't think so? Because there's a couple Easter egg clues in that trailer. One of them being that we see Spider-Man with like really dark eyes, and then there's a scene where he's like waking up out of a fog. The one before he falls, where he doesn't have his webs, and his hand is like dark black, like fully black. So look for that next time you watch it and tell me if you think, because people are wondering.
So 2 things. One, I didn't know you watched the trailer, but since you watched the trailer,
you think I'm not gonna watch something when you show me Zendaya? You think you're gonna show me Zendaya and I'll be like, oh, I guess I'll see that later? No, I'm about to watch it.
Since you watched the trailer, I can't believe you just said the comment you said before then about Spider-Man's a little too friendly for me. When in that trailer, you see Spider-Man rolling with the fucking Punisher, the least friendly person on Earth.
Okay. Well, I guess I have a confession.
What's the confession?
I don't have any Punisher Marvel context.
Really?
The last time I saw
you don't know nothing about the Punisher. Oh,
no, the
I
last
didn't know
time I saw
that.
the Punisher, guess who it was?
Oh no, really?
It was John Travolta.
Oh my God.
That's how old I am. So I don't actually know like what his whole story is, but I'm assuming if it's John Bernthal, he's
the Punisher. The Punisher. They're not going to tell you the story of the movie because it happened in the Netflix show. But the Punisher's family got killed by some drug dealers, basically, and the Punisher was like, "I'm not about to let the cops handle this justice no more." And so the Punisher's like, "My job is to punish people," and so he doesn't. He's not a vigilante like, "Oh, I'm gonna catch you." He's a vigilante like, "I'm gonna mow you down." Hundreds and hundreds of kills.
He was an unhinged MAGA who decided to just put his stuff in action.
He's not MAGA. See, he's the opposite of MAGA. So, like, I'll tell you this really quick aside.
So you voted for Harris.
In real life, right? You know how like some police officers have the Punisher logo, and they brandish the Punisher logo, and they wear it under their uniforms or things like that because they think that they think that they're doing justice like the Punisher, although the Punisher is not a servant.
Well, I mean, to be fair, some of them are. That's the problem. That's kind of the whole issue.
That is the problem. Yes, they think that the Punisher is something to strive to as a police officer. So Marvel, this was years ago, in the books, actually put that in the books. They put some police officers running around with the Punisher logo on them, and the Punisher ran up on them. And the Punisher was like, "What the fuck are y'all doing? Like, that is not how you protect and serve. That's not what I don't do what y'all do." She was like, "Y'all are supposed to be better than me. I am not good. Wearing my logo makes you not good," right? And they even did it in the Daredevil show last year, where a bunch of the ice people they
should have arrested him at that moment. But by the way, if he's a vigilante running the streets, he shouldn't be able to stop and lecture the police officers.
Oh no, the police officers look up to him. They're like, "Oh, you're the Punisher."
That's what I'm saying. This is all everything you're telling me is making me upset because what do you mean the vigilante who mows people down goes and gives the cops a lecture about how they need to be the good guys? That's how far gone they are that they don't go, "Hey, I think you're wanted in 7 states, bro." I think
you're Daredevil, which you're not watching. They're basically doing an allegory for ice. And they run up, and the ice people run up on it. They capture the Punisher because Fisk has a anti-vigilante law where they're just scooping up vigilantes and making them disappear.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And that makes sense.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're the Punisher. Like, you see us? We put the Punisher logo on our bullets when we shoot people." This is what the ice people say. And the Punisher was like, "Look at y'all pieces of shit, wannabe people." He just basically talks shit to them and mows them down. It's the Punisher.
The Punisher stops what he's doing to go like speak at a rally and talk about defunding them.
And then they just had a DC Marvel crossover, which they brought back from like 30 years ago. And the most recent book was Superman, Spider-Man. And so they have like a main story with Superman, Spider-Man. Then they have all these sub stories. So there was like a story with like Lois Lane and Mary Jane. There's a story with like Uncle Ben and I forget who was with Uncle Ben, but they have like all these backstories in the book. You know what the last story was? Power Girl and the Punisher, which is hilarious.
Sometimes you need to do a little bit more work on the names.
But
it'd be hot girl, power girl, pretty girl, fast girl, slow girl. Like
Power Girl is Power Girl is Supergirl, just from a different universe.
But if she's not literally a lightning rod, I don't want her to be called Power Girl. Like there could be better. There's more adjectives out there, guys.
But you asked me, did I think it's a symbiote before we get back to Invincible? No, I think it's this.
And what the fuck is that?
That is Man Spider. So this is a big storyline in the comic books, Man Spider, where he actually grows spider arms and he gets really disgusting looking.
I don't think they're going to do that. And you know why I don't think they're going to do that?
Why? Because
the whole point is they want him and MJ to get back together at the end. There's no way. I'm telling you from a Hollywood perspective, but I'm going to put my bet out there. You could tell me if I'm wrong in July. But there's no way they don't want this whole thing to be him reuniting and getting his friends and his girl back at the end. And Zendaya's not getting back with him if he's a spider, for like a real dead ass spider. I don't see it. Sorry.
One thing I will tell you about Spider-Man that you may not know is that it don't never work out for Peter Parker. It don't never end. That's not his story.
I do know that because I saw them, and I'm telling you that I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
Optimistic. Okay.
Marvel is not gonna let Mr. Zendaya go. No, I mean that makes sense. Like I think in the tragedy sense, but I'd be curious about if they're ending this trilogy with some type of different perspective. But I think, hey, shit, maybe they'll do it. You're probably right.
I wouldn't be surprised they end the trilogy and they just not together. Actually, right, but the last thing I'll say about this, you don't know this part either, but the thing that would make me smile, so I will be in this theater giddy like a fucking child if they bring Paul into this movie. If they bring Paul into this movie, it will be the funniest thing in the world. Paul is one of the most hated characters in comic books, even though he's not a bad person at all. He was just MJ's boyfriend. When her and Peter not together, she got this boyfriend Paul, and everyone people who read comic books hated Paul, hated him just because he was with MJ. No, he wasn't a bad person. He didn't treat her poorly. He wasn't like a secret villain. None of that. He was just MJ's boyfriend, and people were so mad that she wasn't with him that they all hated Paul.
That's funny. Well, in the movies they have her flirting with a brown man, so I'm like, there's going to be people who are going to be upset, huh?
I need that to be Paul.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, I think I'll be interested to see how they play that out, because there's something to be said about MJ being black for the first time. So that's all I'm gonna say. Like, her being of color is significant, and like how they play this character out. I'm sure they might just keep it being the same exact storyline, but I'd be curious on if they do anything different here. I mean, same thing with like his friend. Who was the friend for Tobey Maguire? It was different, wasn't it?
No, that was his real friend from the comic books. The Green Goblin, Harry Osborn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, James Franco was the friend who turned into whose dad turned into Green Goblin. What I'm saying is that the friend in this one, I guess there's not a parallel for him in the original ones.
Well, there is. They stole that from Miles Morales. Miles Morales Spider-Man has a guy in a chair like Ned.
Right. So my point is that I was gonna ask if Ned was also a person of color in the past, and I realized there is no Ned. Yeah,
not exactly. But yeah. They basically took some of Miles Morales' story and gave it to Peter in the MCU. But they're bringing Miles in. Miles' friend's name is Genki. He's an Asian guy. He's this guy in his chair. It's just like Ned, but his name's Genki. But when they bring Miles in,
well, I hope Caleb McLaughlin is ready for this role.
It'll be interesting. So back to the episode. That was a good detail. I didn't even know you watched the trailer. I'm so happy you watched it.
I'm not even gonna comment.
I didn't say I was surprised. I said I'm happy I can't be happy you watched something.
Okay, yeah. You could be happy I watched it.
I said I'm
Nothing
happy you
weird.
watched it.
I guess I heard surprise.
Yeah, see, always thinking negative of me. So then we go to hell, or the UnderRealm, as they call it. And
Yes.
our boy Damien Darkblood is back, and his sister Dormina, who, by the way, is played by Kate Mulgrew, who is Captain Janeway from Star Trek Voyager. So very big nerd call out.
Yeah, she had a good voice. I looked at her though, like she's clearly somebody that I've heard before. I just didn't know from where.
Yeah, she was the first woman Star Trek captain on TV back in the 90s. And then the Darkblood Clan, and they take on this lava-skinned warrior, Volcanikka, who, is pretty fucking badass. And they basically, she wants this artifact named the Vial she basically wants to invade Earth, right? Take all her hell minions and invade Earth. And Damien was like, you should have waited longer, tried the ritual again, but Domina was like, Volcana would have won anyway, so we can't wait any longer. We got to stop her now. They try to fight her. His sister basically hits her with this axe, cracks open her head, and she starts wobbling back. And they think, oh, she's dead. We won. No, y'all didn't win. She regenerates, basically blows up Domina, and Darkblood just gets away just in time before he could die. And that was not good. A good fight. So they start doing the Great Beast Ritual, and they begin to resurrect the Darkblood Clan. But unfortunately, the devil, or what do they call him? Damien? Damien doesn't have enough strength to do it. So they have him in. They take some of Nolan's blood that they had in a vial, and they do this ritual to summon Omni-Man. Well, what they think is Omni-Man back to the UnderRealm. But it's not Omni-Man, it's Mark. Were you surprised by this, Chanel?
I didn't realize who they were summoning. So the fact that they got Mark and not Omni-Man, I'm sure there's some type of like biological thing I should understand here. But I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is cool. So no, I was not. I was not stressed about it.
But Mark was busy because he was doing a protection run for Riley, who was from the reawakened ancient Egyptian, like what do they call it? Not tomb. I was about to say pyramid, but tomb. And by the way, Riley is played by Chloe Bennett, which we haven't seen her in a long time since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Quake. So that was really exciting for me because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is my favorite Marvel show ever. So I haven't seen her in a while. So now Riley's just stranded there, and the Egyptian thing was like, oh man, that was my male host that just left. What the fuck?
So that was a setup, by the way. So he actually saved him, which I didn't realize at first.
I guess I have to settle for a female. And Riley was like, hold on. You could have took a female host this whole time? Like what the fuck? Like, you've been crying about this for forever. You take a host the whole time? And she was like, yeah, the body of the person I'm going to take is right here. And then she realizes it's her. And then she gets possessed. And that will be a storyline for another day with Riley being possessed, just so you know. So
yes, of course. That's what it gave. It gave like she got to walk all the way back from Cairo. So we'll see her in next season.
Well, they did say that. She said something like, the guy flew you here. How the fuck am I getting out of here?
Yeah.
So back in the UnderRealm, Damien attempts to Mark gets there. He's like, what the fuck? Like, what am I doing here? They basically tell him, they give him the lay of the land. This is Satan, because he knows Damien Darkblood. This is Satan, who you guys know as a devil. This is real. Hell's real. It's all real. Mark was like, oh, that's Satan? And immediately goes to choke him. Like, instantly. Wow. He was like, I'm about to take this motherfucker out. And
Yeah, because
then
it's like, I mean, to be fair, I would assume if it's Satan, it's on site. Like that would just be what I would assume. So
yeah,
he's not crazy.
yeah, it was definitely on site for Mark. Mark been having second thoughts about killing people this whole time. He didn't have no second thoughts about that. It was like, oh,
I mean,
this is my
and
chance.
most people in Western culture have a very like palpable response, like, oh, yeah, exactly, this is my chance.
But Damien stops him and he basically explains
Like,
to
whoa, oh my god! Like, basically, he's being an anti-Satanite.
him an anti Damien tells him that Cecil exorcised him back to hell. He didn't come back on his own, like he didn't come back by himself. Cecil did that shit. And then he basically explains to him that like, yeah, down here, like the devil's the good guy. Like we're trying to stop Volcanikka from coming back and taking over the earth. And
Yeah, they're the good demons. There are demons, but they're the demons who are keeping the bad demons in jail.
yeah, he said that there's been 7 existences of the earth or reality or whatever. And these different groups come from different existences. And he says, like, this one came from this one came from this one. We don't talk about 3. And then this one came
Like,
from
just like
this
feminism.
one. And he was like, Volcano came from 5. We came from 6. We stopped them. And now you guys are 7. And he was like, they trying to come back to take over this shit. And we keep them down here by torturing them and not letting them up. And Mark's like, isn't torture bad? And he's like, we torturing the people that's trying to kill y'all. That's how we can keep them from coming back to murdering everyone on Earth. So, I mean, you might think it's bad, but it ain't that bad. And he said, well, he's like, where I'm from, like, that's not what they say about y'all. And then he was basically like, yeah, that's just a story that they came up with to talk about us to make us feel bad. We're fine. We'll stay down here and handle it for you guys, but that ain't how it all really works. So this was a cool thing. There was a lot of talk about theology online about this episode. And my first thought was, this is a show that has some of the most absurd things in the world. They're just telling a story. But then other people were like, no, it's a good conversation to have. So I thought that was a little bit interesting discourse about this episode.
Yeah,
So-
I think there's also the like I was curious if any of this was like the writers sharing a little bit of their perspective on the world. And like, I don't know, have you ever heard people say the theory that like we are on heaven and hell right now, like Earth is heaven and hell? So I think there was like a little bit of dialogue there, something to think about. But yeah, and so again, like this episode starts with him thinking he's just like his dad. Then there's a confirmation when like his dad summons him somehow. And then, but I think it's probably more of like he was the closest thing than anything else, closest proximity wise. He was like literally on Earth. But so he's trying to think about like what it means to help them. But what I like about Mark is that he's somewhat reasonable, and he does listen, like he does let them talk, because a different character would have like just been like, oh, I don't want to hear it, right? So I think there's something to be said also about the message of like waiting and listening, which is sounds so simple, but it cannot be overstated in today's day and age.
Mark, like what Chanel said, after listening to them talk, he agrees. He's like, all right, I'll help you with Volcanikka, but I'm not trying to kill nobody. Like I had enough killing. Like I'm good. And they was like, oh, leave that to us. We love some violence.
Because trust me, we want her dead. But
that was the other funny thing. When he went to choke the devil, and then when he let him go, he was like, oh my bad, I didn't mean to do that. And he was like, what? He's like, we love some violence here. That shit.
He said that's foreplay for us.
He said that's foreplay for us.
Hilarious. Very true.
That was funny. So Mark and Damien have to go retrieve like this artifact for the devil. It's basically like he's super weak. Like he's really small and he's like in his trench coat. He looks old and elderly. And they're basically like, that's because like this thing that gives him power is not there. So they basically see this super big hole, like this giant fucking hole. And Damien's like, we gotta go to the bottom of that hole. We gotta jump in there. He was like, why you ain't go down there? He was like, well, it's not an actually bottomless hole. It's just really, 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 really deep. And so he started flying down there, and he was like, you need to save your energy because like there's a thing down there guarding this artifact, and it's really powerful. And Mark's like, it's not that big of a deal. He's like, no, trust me. Save your energy. So then he lets them go, and they just start falling. And this is the longest falling sequence of all time. And every
it's like like an elevator scene.
Yes, very much so. And it's a way that they can save money with animation because they don't have to change them moving or anything like that.
They waste money on animation with the helmet shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's a recap of it. So it's funny you say that because I thought about like how it has never been lost on me, that episode of the convention where they explain how long and how much it costs to like do animation. And so I'm like, why did they had this motherfucker turn his helmet on 7 times? I'm like, that has to be a wait. Like y'all just being funny at this point. Like we could have done this scene differently, but yes.
I think they just replayed the same thing over and over again. Like they did it once and it just replayed it. But yeah, that was the running joke is Mark and Damien are talking while they're falling in this bottomless pit. And every time Mark asks him a question, when Damien stops talking, he puts his helmet back on. And then when he wants to talk, he takes his helmet off to talk. And then he puts his helmet back on. And Mark's like, hey, yo, I mean, I can hear you, right? Like, I can hear you with the helmet on. You don't have to do this. And he still takes his helmet off. He was like, well, I'm not clear when I do that. And he puts the helmet back on. So that was a little bit of comedy injected into this. But it was good because it's been super dark with Mark the last 2 episodes. So it was good to get a little like brevity and funniness back in the show, which used to exist all the time in earlier seasons. So they get back to
he's going through something. Like he's genuinely trying to figure out if his crisis is he could end up being evil, like his father, who literally, wanted to enslave Earth and kill it and killed a bunch of people. So I think that like it's a very serious, like let alone the Freudian, like we all turn to our parents. Like it's a very legitimate concern that he has. So that's why I'm like, I'm not that worried about taking one episode to like have him think on that and also to be distracted by other stuff.
They get to the bottom of this hole and they face off with like this giant, like 3-headed dog. Like giant 3-headed dog monster, because there's like a crown. That's what it is. It's like a fire crown of some sort over there, and they're like, he's like, oh, that's it. I'm just gonna run get that. And Damien's like, hey dog, like I told you it was guarded by something. And he walks over there and it's this giant dog, and the dog kicks the shit out
Cerberus,
of Damien.
which by the way is like a thing. That's also the thing that guided that protects the Sorcerer's Stone in Harry Potter. Like it's like a known. Like ancient Greek 3-headed dog thing.
I don't know about Harry Potter.
Okay, first, I'm not gonna give you the task to watch Harry Potter. I just want you to know that you objectively have missed out on something in life, like J.K. Rowling aside. Because the other day I was in the gym and they were playing the first half of movie 7, and it reminded me how much I had forgotten. Like as you know,
they were playing that in the gym.
Yeah, it was like on the TVs.
Oh.
Why would we watch it in the gym?
That doesn't seem like something that would motivate me to work out. Harry fucking Potter.
I mean, they got Fox News on there. They might as well throw sci-fi on it, Anyway, so it was episode 7 and movie 7, part 1, book 7. But the point is that I forgot how much I've forgotten, because as you know, I remember like high level stuff, but I forget all the details about stuff I've watched that long ago. But then it really hit me that I haven't really seen that movie in like 15 fucking years since it came out, which is insane. The fact that like there's a scene at the very end of the movie that cuts to like 19 years later, and we're only 4 years away from that, which is again fucking insane. So the point I'm trying to get to is I was watching part 1 in the movie in the gym, and I wasn't really watching it, but it kind of got me going again because I forgot who had died and what happened. So like randomly the other night, like a weeknight, I watched the last one, and I had up to like 2 to watch it, and it still bangs. It still goes hard. And there's a scene this is a spoiler, but it's been 15 motherfucking years. There's a scene at the end when like they're walking through the rubble of Hogwarts, and it was like, when you after you graduate high school, you can't believe they still let people enter the building when your class is done, you're like, why would y'all still need a high school if I'm not there anymore? You know that feeling?
No, I don't know that feeling.
You've never been like, why are there still kids? Because I'm done being a kid, so who needs more kids?
No,
Okay. Well,
no.
anyway, that's how I was like, I can imagine that's how Harry and Ron were now. They weren't like, are y'all serious? Like Hogwarts is done now, but nope, they rebuilt. They said never forget, and they redid it. And I love Harry Potter. Don't
Did you
love the
watch the
creator.
trailer?
I actually tried, and then it started messing up, and I was like, I don't think I need to be here. I think there's a reason for that. But I do support Papa Asediu, or however you say his name. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. I really love him from They Will Destroy Me. This will destroy you. I loved him in that. I love him in general. I think he's such a kind spirit, and I think he's going to do great as Snape. And Snape is a yearner. Snape is a lifelong yearner. If you don't remember nothing else about Harry Potter, it's that. And so I think he's going to do great in that role and in playing evil on the surface. And so anyway, Brandon, the point is that you really are missing out by not having like had that moment. But the way that I felt when I sat in the theater to watch the last Harry Potter Deathly Hallows is the way I'm going to feel when I watch Avengers Doomsday. I'm going to sit in the theater and be like, thank God I'm alive today. Because I think that like there's just some stuff you just can't wait to see adapted to the big screen. And I do have a What We've Been On, which I won't do Harry Potter, but I do have a What We've Been On. So anyway, that just is what that I don't even know how we got here, but shout out to Harry.
You talked about the three-headed dog.
And oh yeah, of course that's a classic thing. But then Daniel Radcliffe is back, baby, in a show on NBC with Tracy Morgan and Erica Alexander called The Rise and Fall of Reggie Dinkins, and it's a very
Somebody else told me to watch that.
It's funny.
I forget who told me to watch that.
The point is him, Macaulay Culkin, like, you know, R.I.P. Aaron Carter. You know, like we just have these kids who were way more famous than they ever should have been at a young age, who are doing okay. And it makes me really happy because
you know people want him to be Logan.
I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but I don't want to see him do it. Anyway, the point is that I like what he's doing now, and I think him and Elijah Wood, those are really great examples of actors who got the big bag from like a huge like production, and then if you go watch their indie stuff or their smaller stuff, that's where you see real like art. And these are people who use that money as a way to go do the thing they really want to go do. So I think Daniel Radcliffe's career is extremely interesting for that reason. And as I've said on the show before, I'll just go ahead and remind y'all, like the last movie reminded me, like I did have a crush on Malfoy, and I stand by it. Okay, you don't shake your head. You don't know what that means. Okay, back to the show. Sorry about that.
I've seen 6 of the movies.
That don't mean you've seen them. Wait, what?
So on my old podcast, my co-host Mike loves Harry Potter. It's something really like it's like part of his life.
Harry Potter is very amazing.
His grandmother had dementia, and his grandmother bought him all the books, and they used to watch all the movies together. And it was the one thing that they would do. And she would have dementia, and she would come over, and they would watch the movie, and she would forget about it, and then she'd come back over the next time and say, "I want to watch the movie with you." And when he was growing up, because he's younger than us, when he was growing up, that was a big part of his thing. So Harry Potter's really close to him. So on the show, a couple years ago, he's like, "It will mean everything to me if you watch some of the Harry Potter movies." I said, "Okay, I'll watch the Harry Potter movie." And I watched the Harry Potter movie.
I just swore you haven't engaged with it at all. I didn't know you had watched some. Okay.
I watched all of them except before the last 2. The last one was a 2-parter, right? Yeah. I didn't watch the last 2. So I watched all the ones up to the last 2.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
And I just was like, I can't do it. I told him, I was like, I can't go anymore. It's too much. It's too much.
Wow. I mean, literally the one I'm talking about is the one you skipped because it was too much. That's interesting. Well, with that said, I stand by what I said, and I don't know what to say about the fact that you think it's too much.
But I wasn't laughing because you said you had a crush on Malfoy. I was laughing because of the people that you have crushes on. Pretty funny.
Well, you do actually. That does probably say something about me. I guess I will admit to that. But the fact that you've seen it actually shocks me, because now I realize, like, oh shit, you do know that having a crush on Malfoy is kind of wild. But I just like I like his haircut.
I even have Hermione's wand somewhere in my shit back here.
Okay, now you need to give that away because you're fraudulent. That you're perpetrating with that.
How?
But I will say also because you're not a real stan, so don't have no paraphernalia. But also,
I want the wand of the black character.
but I'm not crazy. Yes, fair. Okay, good one. I'm not crazy though. Like I did also think Ron was cute, so I wasn't like a no. It wasn't like I didn't, so I like the black
Ron
character.
Weasley.
Yeah, the redhead, the ginger.
It's back here somewhere. Hermione's wand, because I support black people in fiction.
Shut
right.
the fuck up.
I do. So then they basically Damien gets his ass whipped, and Mark was like, "All right, I'm gonna get you. Just give me a second." He just throws Damien up in the hole really far, and then Damien starts falling back towards the ground. He's like, "Mark, where the fuck are you, Mark?"
So yeah, we're watching that instead of the battle, and we're just hearing the pew, pow, boom, bow. Like we're just hearing the battle.
Which is another way of them saving money, because
Agreed.
I can tell you, this is not a spoiler, but I can tell you the Viltrumite War is insane. And so they need all their budget for what's about to happen in the next couple episodes.
Hey, buddy, I believe you.
So that's why we didn't see Mark whipping the dog's ass, but he whips the dog's ass and he catches Damien right before he hits the ground, and they fly back up. And he was like, "All right, I helped you get your crown. I did my duty. Send me back. We good, right?" And we see the devil put the crown back on, and he starts to grow, and he gets big, and he's getting cocky, and he's busting through the trench coat, and he's like this giant being again.
He goes, "Yeehaw, yeah, baby!" It was very satisfying. I'm like, "You go, devil. Get your groove on. Devil got his groove back."
Damien says, "But I still need your help. Like, if you don't mind, like, we got to end this Volcanikka thing.
Like, stick around real quick."
So they go back and they resurrect his whole clan, including his sister, but his sister's still pretty fucked up. And so she tells Damien, she's like, "You was always the one anyway. Like, Daddy said this axe was going to be yours." And Damien was like, "I can't use the axe." She's like, "The power is within you, okay? It's deep down inside. You got it in you. It's in our blood, baby. Go ahead and take that axe and do it for us." So he takes the axe and they start fighting. And Volcanikka and all her magma people start whipping the clan's ass. So it's really only Mark, Damien, and the devil left. And Mark starts beating the shit out of her, but she keeps regenerating and keeps regenerating. And the devil was like, "I think I'm going to take a step back here, dog. You guys can handle this. I'm good. And he takes a step back. And Mark keeps knocking her down and keeps punching her. She keeps getting back up.
But importantly, like, just to slow down and go back for a second, when he does first punch her in the face, he thinks he's killed her, and he's apologetic, and they're like, "No, that's literally, thank you. That's what we called you to do. Like, we needed you to do that." And he starts reasoning out loud, like, "No, she would have just came back, and the guardian," and they're like, "Yeah, exactly. Like, you have to kill bad guys. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? There's nothing to do about it."
And then she comes back.
Yeah, exactly. So he does. So again, he technically hasn't really killed anyone but the astronaut at this point. But like, he keeps thinking and like holding on to these things like mentally as kills and as bodies. But he basically just beats her ass enough where she's like, "Fine, I'll come back later." And it's literally like, "I'm gonna be back. Don't forget, I'm gonna be back." And then he's like, "Okay, great." He's not okay, great, but he's like, "All right, like, word."
Code Knox says he agreed with everything you said about Harry Potter except the crush.
And that's okay. And I bet you his crush was the Asian girl. What's that girl name? Was Harry Potter his ex? Because I know you wasn't crushing on Jenny. Only real ones was crushing on Jenny, and so it was probably that. And then if you really, I'm gonna tell you the truth, if you're really my kind of guy, you like Luna Lovegood. If you get it. She was mad cool. Like that was a chill, like that's the homie.
The devil thanks Mark for his assistance and it's like, "All right, I'm gonna send you back home. We owe you a debt. Like, make us proud when you get back." So Mark gets back on Earth, and But before she goes back to Earth, we cut to Eve, and Eve is hanging out with William, who's like Mark's best friend, and because she hadn't told Mark that she's pregnant yet, but she tells William. William's like, "Oh, all right. Was y'all trying? Like, was that the plan?" And she was like, "Nah, that wasn't the plan, dog. Like, I don't think I'm ready for this. Like, that's not what I'm trying to get down with right now. But I needed to talk to someone about this, and I figured I'd talk to you about it. And she's like, basically, you gotta go talk to Mark about it. So Mark comes back, and she's at the crib, and you see Mark flying around. He got his new suit on, so he's back to his new suit. And
Yeah,
his mom.
so he comes back. Like the symbolism here is that he feels better about himself. Like he didn't really kill her, but if he had, it wouldn't have been a bad thing. He was technically doing the right thing. And I think like seeing, I guess what I thought was valuable about this episode was seeing literal demons and literally defeating demons who have nothing on their mind but like enslaving the world and burning them in fire and whatever. It's like the ultimate bad. And so he is a relatively and objectively good guy to be able to stop the ultimate bad and to want to do that and to not be on their side, basically. So I think like even though at the first he was kind of like feeling pity for himself and his dad and everything, he kind of had a moment of like, well, maybe I'm not so bad if I'm able to like, do this. And so he comes back, he goes back to his suit, he's doing wheelies, basically, like he's flying around and enjoying being invincible a little bit. So we get like a bit of breathing and a bit of air. And speaking of the music, I meant to say this. So they play like a Slayer track. I don't know, like it's like the heavy metal shit. They play that during the fight scene, which I was like, I get it. I get why the white boys like this music. This shit would get me hyped too. Like if I'm going into like a monster truck battle, a wrestling match, if I'm about to go like get greased up and fight my brother because my dad is in the clan and wants to see one of us die. Like if I'm about to go do that,
Hold on.
That's a Peacemaker reference.
Why would you get greased up to fight your brother?
That's a Peacemaker reference. I feel like there was like he had
they weren't greased up.
Okay, I just feel like you grease up so that it slides out. Like I'll put Vaseline in my face so that their punches slide out. Oh yeah. Oh, you're thinking about like more like you're thinking about bikini fights. I'm thinking functionally. I'm thinking Vaseline on my face so that the punches slip off. I'm not thinking about wet t-shirt fights. You're thinking more old school. You're thinking more the girls at the frat house in the pool. Yeah, no. I'm thinking like literally lubricate my body so that you can you grab me and I just slip right out your arm. So anyway,
I had to watch a movie for another podcast this weekend called School Ties from the 90s. And it's got Matt Damon. It's like Matt Damon and
I'm sure I've seen
Ben Affleck and Brendan Fraser. Basically, Brendan Fraser's this Jewish dude in the 50s at like this all-white Christian school, Catholic school, and they hate Jews and they're like super anti-Semitic to him.
I was born then.
And
oh my god!
At the end,
they look like the original Bad Boys Club. They look they look good as hell on this cover.
And at the end of the movie, because Matt Damon's character gets mad because Brendan Fraser's character is like the star of the team, he makes like this really horrific Jewish joke in the shower. And they're all in the shower after practice. And they just start scrapping butt-ass naked wet in the middle of the shower. It is the funniest thing in the world. So
that's actually crazy.
That's why I was laughing when you said get greased up to fight your brother.
Okay, I might look into that. Yeah, I mean, same thing, but I mean, it's still anyway. So I just thought about the heated rivalry shower scene. It just made me happy. Okay, so basically, this is just like some symbolism of him, a little bit of lightness coming through. He's able to like break out of his depression a little bit. He's been he's been going through all this stuff about his dad, and I was like, oh, ain't this the right moment for him for Omni-Man? But that didn't happen yet. So then we hear like Brandon saying, we hear Debbie being like, boys, let me sit you down and tell you something. So Debbie sits him down and is like, hey, Oliver, hey, Mark, me and what's his name? The boring guy, love him to death. We're going to move in together. We're going to sell your childhood home. Like, are you okay? And Oliver's like, love Oliver, because he goes, where am I gonna live? Which is valid. He's like, I'm not assuming. I'm not here to mooch off y'all. I know I've probably taken enough off of your plate. So like, where do you want me to move to a home? Like I'm moving with Mark or what? And she's like, nigga, we're all moving together. Like it's just a new house. And Mark justifiably is like, oh, like, because that's his childhood home. He has so many mixed memories, but also all his memories are there. And they got that nice ass bookshelf that we never actually have any details in the books. Like it's just so many nice things happening. And he has a moment though where he goes, actually I am happy. Ooh, sorry, my computer's quaking. I'm happy for you, like, you know, I'm happy, this is a good thing. And I think that's very mature of him and very true, to be able to like accept that his mom is moving on and like that he's happy for her, so that's all good. And then I was also starting to worry at that point, like, damn, if they move, will Omni-Man find them? Like how will this happen when Omni-Man finally comes back?
I want to tell you that so bad, but I don't want to spoil it for you. But
I saw the end of the episode.
No, not that. I'm talking about like once Omni-Man comes back and sees Debbie, like that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're gonna do what they did in the books. It'd be interesting to see how they do it. What they
does
did
he in the books go and beat the nigga up?
No.
Oh.
No. In the books, I mean, this isn't really a big spoiler. But in the books, actually, this is not even a spoiler because this part already happened. In the books, Debbie, she does talk to Paul, right, like that, but he's not like a big factor in the books. He's in like a couple issues. He's like, she never really gets over Nolan, like doing this to her. So like remember when she was like drinking and stuff, and they played that up for like a couple episodes? It lasts way longer in the books, like she really gets down bad after what happens with Nolan. And she never really gets over it. And so when he comes back, it ends up being something that could be a little problematic. That
did she start beating his ass?
No.
Oh my God. Well,
no.
She's like, she wants her lick back, so they hook up again, like just so she can be like, look what you missed out when you was out in space, and ain't nobody got what I got. Is that
sort of? They like go to this is
tell me.
I mean, it's not that big of a spoiler. They basically they go to like a vacation planet, like a resort planet, like off Earth.
They got time for that?
And they just every day just fucking in the morning, afternoon, evening.
That's what I just said. Does he not be like, ain't nobody else in space got it like this?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like but I'm like, how y'all gonna do that? And y'all
but I don't think they can do. I don't think the reason why I said that to you because I'm confident. I don't think they're gonna do that on the show because in the show in the comic books they portray Debbie as like not as strong as she is in the show.
Yeah,
and so it was portrayed as like, oh, I'm gonna go back to Nolan. Like, you know, I'm gonna crawl back to him.
No matter what, yeah. And it's like,
even though Nolan's trying to be a better person, like he is in the show, it's still like I'm going back to Nolan. Whereas in this, Paul has been a way more important character in the TV show, in the comic books, and they're moving in and stuff. So it'd be weird. It'd be weird if Debbie was just like, "Fuck you, Paul. I'm going to fuck Nolan." Like that'd be really weird. So I don't think they're going to actually do it.
Weirder things have happened, but it would be weird. And I do agree, like her and Paul have a real legitimate relationship. But I think that is the real test of like, I would say this much. I think it's fair and valid if like most people would have that reaction of seeing your ex who you thought was gone, who had abandoned you, come back. Like that brings a sense of relief to most people if you have any type of childhood wounds you haven't healed yet. So I think like realistically, if your ex you thought was dead comes back and wants you, like only God's strongest soldiers would be like, oh, everyone would at least think about it. And I guess like that could either hurt Paul or he can understand that. But like, I wouldn't judge.
But this one was worse because remember when Nolan left, he said, "You didn't love Mom,"
I never really loved you.
And she said she was like a pet to me.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. So, but my point is that that doesn't matter because it's not a logical thing. What I'm talking about, like, like, you know, yeah, it's like subconscious of like, oh, this person brings relief. It gives me a chance to play out these childhood dynamics. So I say all that to say, like, you know, stay strong, sister. Don't go back to him. We're moving on. We're blocking men in 2026. We're moving forward. We're keeping our peace.
Here's the thing. if you're being honest, it's got to be hard to like have sex with like a regular human being after having sex with a superpowered person. It's probably like, like, could Sue Storm really like Sue Storm? So Sue Storm, actually, this would be funny in the movies if they do it. So in the comic books, Namor is like all over Sue. He's like Mr. Steal Your Girl. Like, Reed can't do for you like I do for you. Like, I'm something that he's not. That nerd can't. This is stuff that Namor says, that nerd can't fulfill you. Look at me, I'm a king of the Atlantis. Like, you want to come to me? That's like Namor is like in love with, like, wants Sue really bad in the comic books. And in the movies, Namor is a whole like brown person, like a whole like well, I guess technically Pedro is
maybe that's why
something.
they made Pedro brown.
But yeah, so
it's gonna be it's gonna be the Hispanics versus the Latinxes when they do the matchup.
But Reed can, he can reshape everything. You know what I mean? So like, I'm sure it's got to be weird to not be with Reed. It's got to be not the same. That might not be the same.
I don't actually want to know what Sue Storm got going on because it's probably it's probably a kink I haven't thought of yet. But I do want to say this: superpowered might not be as fun as you think, because what if lovemaking is a human thing? Like, you know what I mean? I do not think the Viltrumites know what a clitoris is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they care about pleasure. But they don't care about pleasure.
Yes.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I would be very surprised if he's actually good at that. I think I understand like Mark might be more caring, but I think that's a human part of him. So anyway, we'll see. So Mark is like, basically we had that point where Eve is going through she has a scene where she's processing that she's found out she's pregnant with the friend named,
we already talked about that,
right? What's the name though? William. Okay. And William is like, you gotta go talk to Mark. So after Mark, like, and Oliver process with Debbie that this is happening, and like Mark is feeling a little bit pensive again. He's on the roof sitting there, and Eve comes out, and I don't know if you noticed this, but every 30 minutes Eve goes, "Are you okay?" That's all she asks Mark. I'm like, girl, at some point he's not okay. Go get him some cocoa or go take care of yourself. Like, there's like I think they try to make Eve be like a very supportive partner to him, but she's almost like annoying in that she just keeps asking if he's okay, and it's like either do something about it or go on with your life.
I will defend Eve this time. Okay. She said that you're correct. She did say that, but she said it after Mark talked, and what Mark said to her was, "Hey Eve, hell is real. The devil's real. I was just there. I fought someone down there, and now I'm back." And then she said, "Hey, Doug, are you okay?" I feel like that's a perfectly normal response in that context.
Yeah, I think I'm just realizing that every time. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. It's like when you first get into therapy and you realize, like, oh, it's good to have capacity for people and check on them. And so it's like you practice certain things, but then you kind of like don't finish the book. Like, you don't go back to therapy for a while, so you don't get to the next step. And I feel like she's stuck on that first step of like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, we're not getting much out of these conversations. You say, "Are you okay?" And he says, "I'm fine," or he says no, and then that's it. And we don't ever get nowhere.
He actually said, "No, I'm not," but I will
true.
Be.
But what is your relationship even based on? Because like, I'm like, what is he sharing with you? Like, mind you, I know there's stuff we don't see in theory, but like, this relationship just, what I'm trying to say is there doesn't seem to be that much depth to this relationship. It seems like they care about each other, but I have not genuinely seen, in a weird way, I haven't seen the chemistry with Amber. And I know I'm talking about this as if it's like two humans and not two cartoons, but like, it just, that kind of stuff to me is like, they really feel more like friends to me. That's just my random opinion. So anyway, Eve is like, all right, I got, there's no time to tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this real quick. And then Mark is like, his spidey senses tingle. And is Seth Rogen's character named Alan?
Yes.
Alan the alien and Omni-Man have made it to Earth. And Omni-Man, I don't know what was going on, but he was looking good.
This is what I'm saying.
So
there's something wrong with you.
Omni-Man is cute. Omni-Man is cute. They made his face very symmetrical. They, like, if you want to talk about like looks maxing and like the idea that there's a way to like have a symmetrical face, they draw it's like how Goku used to be cute. Like they draw him to be pretty, right?
I've never heard anyone say that in my
You've
entire
never
life.
so you didn't have you didn't have friend girls in 5th grade because all the girls thought Goku was cute. Goku's cute. And he had a 6-pack. Goku's fine. So anyway, and then like Trunks, not so much. You know what I mean? Like there's some of them are hot, some of them aren't. My point I'm trying to get to is the Omni-Man pops up and I'm like, Omni-Man be looking good too. Like I don't know if it's the mustache. He is looking like a. Can you play my sound, please?
Zaddy.
I feel like Alan looks better.
They do. They both like. Adam is for my homegirl. Adam is for my friend who likes different guys than me. This is the perfect 2-man right here because me and the friend who doesn't think Omni-Man looks good would like Alan. That's why my best friends are the ones who like we don't like the exact same guy. We would just double date and have a ball. We would
I hope y'all noticed that she picked the white man over the brown man. So
Alan is not Alan. That man is orange.
That is brown. He looked brown to me.
He looks orange to me. Literally, he looks the color of my hair. Now listen, this is all fantasy fiction because do you see me? Clean it up. I'm saying that because like I in real life am I dating a white man? No, I'm just telling you theoretically. Mm-hmm. This is fantasy. I thought we were talking about a fantasy genre where stuff is made up in this cartoon. Okay, so in a fantasy world, he's fine to me.
Okay,
I'm just saying they know what they're doing. They make cartoons cute. Do you like was Jessica Rabbit a real person? No, she was a cartoon. Was she meant to be voluptuous? Did she signal to you an attractive woman in real life? Yes. We're not gonna.
She's a rabbit.
But Jessica Rabbit's not attractive.
Of course she is. What do you mean?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. See, there's a surface level of like, oh, attractive, and then there's like actual like sexualizing. I'm not talking about that. We're not actually talking about like, anything physical with these men. I'm just saying like, just look at him. I was like, it was aura. Maybe it's just aura. Omni-Man still has aura, and I know that's crazy because Omni-Man's a bad guy. But I'm just saying he kind of has aura, and I've seen him change. And I'm just saying, now would I this is just the worst parts of me. In real life, I would be like, boy, please, go back to your ex-wife who you was petting on like a pet. I would do that, but part of me would be like, ooh.
I don't know. I don't know if I would say that to
like if he was flying me back, if he was saving me, he was flying me back, I'd be like, And who's Anissa?
That's the woman, Viltrumite.
Yeah, she's fine too.
So this is. I thought I would be able to show you Anissa. My computer froze. They didn't even. You know what's funny? This is the sexism that I have to deal with on the show. By the way, I'm glad you brought that up. They don't downplay Omni-Man or Alan the Alien's muscles or anything. He's still jacked and looks exactly like he looks in the books. They don't try to downplay them. They let them look. They let them look how they look, right? But then they can't let Anissa. They can't let Anissa be Anissa. They got to change her. They got to change her for the. So they want to sexualize us men, but the woman character. No, we gotta make them. Not that. This is Anissa in the books, right here. That's Anissa. You're not even looking. Just wasted time.
Oh yeah, she fine.
That's Anissa.
Okay.
They ain't making Anissa look like that in the show. She wasn't.
They do. She has abs. Oh, in the show.
In the show. This is her in the comic. Yeah, we saw her last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think my point is, but there's no Viltrumites that don't look like they do Pilates. You know what I'm saying? So, like, at the very least, like,
Did you see the black Viltrumite with the dreads?
The locks, the one who died. Yeah, he was fine too.
So they got somebody doing locks on the Viltrumite planet.
If Omni-Man and him had pulled up, I would have been like, I choose him. So I'm just saying, like, it's like a, you know what I mean? Omni-Man is who I'm choosing if I have to choose. If I go in order, it's definitely is definitely Mark. Mark is the cutie. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're not here to listen to. I'm not talking about you.
That is why they're here.
No.
That's exactly why they're here.
Are they here to hear me rank the cuter?
Yes, that's actually very entertaining.
Okay. Well, I think. Okay, I'll tell you this. Alan.
Look at this. See,
cuter.
Look at the difference.
Oh yeah, they made her hardcore. Well, she's just not smiling. Honestly, if they made her smile, she would literally look the same. And she needs a better bra. That's literally it. There's a better bra. If I would say this, if you put Alan and the Martian when he's like in Martian form next to each other, Alan is finer. That's for
sure. The Martian, the white boy Martian.
The one, yeah, I'm saying like when he's in Martian.
When he's a Martian. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. As a Martian, Alan is definitely cuter. And then if you want to go back to like the Guardians, what's his name? The
Immortal?
one Jay Farrell plays on the braids. No. See, Immortal's ugly. That's what I'm saying. You don't get it. Bulletproof is cute. And then the one who looked like Samson. And then we can get into Rexplode. He was cute. And then after that, they kind of look more childish. Cecil is grizzled and he looks like a man who could take you on a steak date. He would take you to a nice steak diner. He might have to go in the middle of it for work, but he would go and I feel like Cecil would leave you the hotel room by yourself and just be like, just enjoy the room service. Donald wouldn't even know what to do. Donald gets nervous, I think, around sex workers.
I mean, technically, Donald's a robot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he would get nervous. He'd be like, he'd be like, what do you want to talk about? And then I think that's mostly the big players here. Hopefully William and his boyfriend are doing well. And yeah, and Amber's fine too. They made Amber a nice little like chill average black girl. Love her. So this was our Love is Blind crossover of Invincible. Those who I think are cute. I'm happy to do these cute rankings on every show we do. You guys just let me know and I'll tell you. Hint on Paradise is going to be Sterling K. Brown and then Teddy, and then we can go from there. But it's always going to be Sterling K. Brown first. Sorry, and then President.
Did you call him Teddy from Westworld?
That's what I think of. He was good in that. James Marsden.
How is that what you think of and not Cyclops? As much as you stand those stupid X-Men movies.
I am, because there's been other Cyclopses, but there's only been one Teddy. And then the dead Secret Service agent, the guy, he's third. He's up there. And then fuck it, I'll put and then I'm gonna put Link. Then you got Link. And then I'm gonna put I was gonna say something just to rage bait. I was gonna say, and then the vice president, but that's not true at all. That's not true at all. That's me being silly. Okay, guys, you can look forward to that power ranking of Fine Men on Paradise and other insights.
Next
week. Actually likes Martians. I'm just being inclusive.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, and Mars is probably where we're gonna end up when they come and save us. They're gonna be like, hey, do y'all want a break from this stuff? I'll be like, yes, take me. And I'll be on Mars anyway. So speaking of, can I do a really quick, what have we been on?
Yeah, it hasn't even been an hour. You're good.
Don't watch TV.
Well, I went to the movies. Now it's our Project Hail Mary. It was what they're saying it was. It was so freaking good. I do think that music, like, it's good to remember that music is very, what's the word? Convincing. Music is very like, but like, I'm trying to think of the worst word. It's like, it takes advantage of you. What's the word I'm trying to think of?
Inspires emotion.
Yes, but it's like, like in like a, but it's like it's doing it on purpose. Like it's sneaking up on you. It's manipulative. Music is very manipulative.
That does not begin with a C.
I know, I don't know. I was tripping with the C, but so the point is, it tries to they play the music in times when you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm inspired or if this music is just like inspiring me. But it's a really good movie. It's told in a way that I did not like. It's told out of order, and they kind of Tarantino it in a very satisfying way, in a way that makes the story harder to predict. Also, who's in it? I bet you didn't know this. Lionel Boyce from the yes, chef. Lionel Boyce from The Bear is in it, and also Eric Tao, whose real name
Okay.
is I forget, but our boys are in it, and he's playing an actual Chinese man, which is kind of crazy. Like seeing him talk with a Chinese accent, speak broken English. I'm like, this is crazy. But I hope he got the bag. You better have got the bag, my boy. And it's a really great movie. Ryan Gosling has a lot of time on his own, and he just like he captivates the screen. Like there's dead silence time when you are just like right there with him. It's kind of like it gives, and it's like an Interstellar mixed with The Good Guys. No, I don't know if that's the right mix, but there we also get a high pitched Ryan Gosling scream if you wanted that. It's a really good movie, and it they're Rocky, which you know from the trailers. It's like an extraterrestrial mate that he like explores in space, and how he gets to space and all that is the whole point of the movie. But Rocky makes you like realize that, you know, I understand how people go vegan, because like having a love for all living things and appreciating that people can look and be different and still have the same feeling. I hope that people watch that movie and remember that that means that somebody who did a crime in your mind or is doing something illegally does not lose their right to humanity and love and like grace, or someone from a different place than you who looks and appears different is not less deserving. And I think there's something very beautiful about that. And again, I don't think it's a twist or a storyline that you can really truly anticipate. And the ending was really like heartbreaking and beautiful. So I mean, I think, you know, there are people who are already saying that, oh, it could be the best movie next year. But what we do, if we know anything, is that every year is a long year. Like this is way too early to be thinking about next year's Oscars, because there's always something new and dramatic and cool to come out that we don't even know about. So so anyway, go see Project Hail Mary, but it's more of like a positive harbinger for more great movies potentially next year, including the Marvel stuff we talked about, the Spider-Man, the Doomsday, the Dune Part 3, which I'm also geared up for and ready to go. I don't know if the Batman comes out next year. Or is that 2027?
That's 27. Supergirl
Yeah, but
comes
what if
out
that comes
this year.
great? And yeah, there's just a lot to look forward to. So, you know, again, I'm just living for December 18th. I'm just really trying to get to December 18th, 2026, when our Doomsday.
The Mandalorian and
Or
Grogu come out next month. You don't like little Grogu? You don't think he's cute?
I haven't caught up on the Mandalorian. I've tried though. I'm like on like season 2 or some shit. I really be trying. It's a lot of content. Anyway, guys, I don't think Brandon understood. So please spam our mentions and tell us how much you want to see Heated Rivalry. We've seen the posts. We've seen the comments on YouTube. I can show them to Brandon again. We've seen the posts on our Spotify comments. He's not getting it. So let him know he needs to watch Heated Rivalry. We need him to get into the lore. And Brandon, I think what you don't realize is the algorithm goes so hard for Heated Rivalry. We are months behind the show wrapping up, and we could easily go viral tomorrow talking about it. That's how much people love the show. As Connor says, this show is like drugs to these people, and it is.
Okay, if you say so. Anything else? What are you looking forward to next week before we leave?
Okay, so at the end, the whole point is Omni-Man's like, hey Mark, look, I know you want to square up, that's fine, we can fight later, but there's a war coming and we need you, and it's no time. Like let's just go right now. Like that's why I'm like, he do not have time to go to the planet with the heart-shaped beds. He needs to stay focused on the mission, because Viltrumite is coming, and the Viltrumites want their look back. So I guess I'm just like, you keep telling me about the Viltrumite War. I guess I'm looking forward to seeing that, and I have no idea what's going to happen, but you know, hey, I guess Invincible could one day die, so maybe that happens here at the end of the season, maybe not.
All right. So yeah, next week we'll be back sometime for episode 5 at some point. The Viltrumite War begins. So I expect
And you'll
episode
get
5. So
Paradise this
there's
week too.
6, 7, 8. So there's only 4 episodes left. So we're already halfway through the season. So I expect that these episodes will be pretty action packed to finish the season.
Hopefully.
So everyone should look forward to that. I know what's coming, and I'm still very excited. So if you don't know what's coming, it's going to be fun.
Side note, I'm still catching up with you on Hijack, so I'm getting there.
Oh, you chastised me about Heated Rivalry, and Hijack came out months ago, and we had the whole show that you could have watched at any
Hijack did not
time.
have the moment Heated Rivalry had. Hijack did not have the moment Heated Rivalry had. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. You'll see when we get there. Here's what we're gonna do, Brandon. When we do our Heated Rivalry episode, I'm gonna send you a bunch of content, and I'm gonna make you also watch the fandom so you can understand how big this show is.
Yes, yeah, the listeners just know that I'm the pro-black person on the show. I want to talk about Paradise. I want to talk about Hijack. I just want to talk about these very diverse brown and black shows. And she want to talk about a hockey show.
I don't know how.
She want to talk about a hockey show.
Diverse, which is diverse and transformative for the queer communities in sports. So, and Hudson Williams is Asian. So, gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the We Was Watching podcast. We really appreciate it. Please check the show notes for where you can follow us, follow the show. Leave us a 5-star review and read it on the show. Less than 5 stars. I might read it in my head, but I'm not reading out loud. God damn it. Email us at wewaswatchingpodcast@gmail.com. Anything else, like check us out on Spotify, all the other stuff. We're across all the socials. We are kind of shifting a little bit towards like weekend posting / like random weekdays. We're still trying to figure out our new schedule because our shows change and my work schedule has changed. So thanks for being patient with us, and thanks for hopping on, Code Knox, and anyone else who was in the chat today because I was not able to follow. Brandon, thanks for being here today, and thank you for holding down the fort on For All Mankind, and also for Monsters Legacy of Monsters Monarch. That shit. He's doing his Thug Dizzle over there. Go watch those videos. They are a lot of fun, and if I could catch up on that easily, I would do that too, but I'm way too behind. So yeah, check out our Apple TV stuff because we know that Apple is like very poorly appreciated in terms of podcasting and dialogue, so we're here to bridge that gap. And we will see you next week for some version of some of the shows we've talked about. In the meantime, if We Was Watching is watching it, then you should be watching it too. Good night.
Good night.